Today we are going to uncover a truth that many couples struggle with, which is why you should not always feel the need to explain yourself in a relationship just to prove your love. Relationships are built on trust, understanding, and connection. But sometimes, one partner begins to feel like they must constantly defend themselves, justify their actions, or explain every decision to prove that they love their partner. This habit can slowly drain the joy out of love. Think about it. Love is not supposed to be a courtroom where every word and action is on trial. It's supposed to be a safe space. If you find yourself explaining too much, it often comes from fear of being misunderstood, fear of being doubted, or fear of not being enough. But let me tell you, the moment love turns into a constant defense mechanism, it becomes exhausting. Remember, proving your love through endless explanations is not the same as showing your love through consistent action, honesty, and care. Real love thrives on trust, not interrogation. So stay tuned as we go deeper into the layers of this topic. The difference between healthy communication and over-explaining. Let's separate two things that often get confused: healthy communication versus over-explaining. Healthy communication means you talk to your partner openly, share your thoughts, and express your feelings. Over-explaining, on the other hand, means you keep justifying yourself again and again just to be seen as trustworthy or loving. For example, imagine you go out with your friends. A healthy relationship looks like you telling your partner, "I will be back later, I'm hanging out with friends." That's communication. But in a toxic cycle, you might find yourself saying, "I am going with these specific people, to this specific place, at this exact time. I will send pictures so you know I am not doing anything wrong." That's over-explaining. Notice the difference? One is about respect, the other is about seeking approval. When you constantly explain yourself, you unconsciously teach your partner not to trust your words but to demand more proof. The more proof you give, the more proof they will want, and the cycle never ends. Love isn't a test that you have to pass every single day. The truth is, if your partner truly trusts and values you, they won't demand constant explanations. So remember, communicate, yes. Over-explain, no. Communication builds intimacy, over-explaining builds anxiety. We have talked about how over-explaining drains your self-worth and how you can start breaking free. Now let us look into the damage of constantly explaining yourself. Here are the consequences of always explaining yourself. First, it chips away at your confidence. When you always feel the need to defend your actions, you start questioning your own judgment. You begin to wonder, am I really doing something wrong, when in reality, you've done nothing to betray your partner's trust. Second, it creates an imbalance of power. One partner becomes the questioner, the judge, while the other becomes the defendant. That's not partnership, that's control. Third, it makes love conditional. Instead of being loved for who you are, you feel like you're only loved when you can successfully explain yourself. That's not real love, that's performance. And finally, it builds resentment. Over time, the partner who is constantly justifying themselves will feel drained, unheard, and emotionally suffocated. If you recognize yourself in this pattern, pause and reflect. Is your love being measured by explanations or by authenticity? Healthy relationships do not thrive on suspicion, they thrive on belief. When you are trusted, you feel free. When you are doubted, you feel caged. The more you explain yourself, the more your partner may expect it, and before long, it becomes a cycle that keeps you both unhappy. Now let's dive into how to set healthy boundaries so your love doesn't become a courtroom drama. Setting boundaries without feeling guilty. How do you stop explaining yourself all the time? The key is boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that protect your peace and your relationship. When you set boundaries, you are teaching your partner that you value honesty and trust, but you also value your dignity. For example, if your partner keeps demanding explanations, you can calmly say, "I have already told you where I'm going, and I need you to trust me. If you don't, then the issue is not where I go, but whether we truly trust each other." This shifts the focus from proof to trust. Boundaries also mean allowing yourself to say no. You don't owe anyone, yes, even your partner, an explanation for every single choice you make. You owe them honesty, not a diary of your every move. When you stop over-explaining, you reclaim your self-worth. You remind your partner that your love should not be questioned at every turn, but experienced through your presence, actions, and consistency. And here's the truth, a partner who truly loves you will understand your need for boundaries. They won't see it as rejection, but as respect. Real love proves itself without too much explanation, and trust is the ultimate evidence of love. Trust as the true proof of love. Trust as the true proof of love. The biggest reason you should not always explain yourself to prove your love is simple: trust is the real proof of love. When trust is present, explanations are minimal. When trust is absent, explanations are never enough. Love is not about convincing, it's about connecting. If your partner requires endless explanations, they don't need more of your words, they need to work on their own insecurities. You prove your love not by explaining it, but by living it. By showing up consistently. By caring. By respecting. By being loyal even when nobody is watching. Think about it, the sun doesn't explain itself, it just shines. The ocean doesn't explain itself, it just flows. Real love is the same. It is felt, not argued. So my final message to you today is this: stop living in defense mode. Stop proving your love with explanations. Instead, live your love with truth, trust, and freedom. Because in the end, a relationship without trust will never be satisfied with explanations. And a relationship with trust doesn't even need them. Remember, you deserve love that doesn't put you on trial, you deserve love that gives you peace. In a healthy relationship, love should never feel like a constant trial where you have to defend your every move. Explaining yourself once in honesty is communication, but repeating it endlessly to prove your love is a sign of insecurity and lack of trust. Real love is not measured by explanations, it is measured by trust, consistency, and freedom. When you stop over-explaining, you protect your self-worth, strengthen your boundaries, and remind your partner that trust is the foundation of true love. At the end of the day, genuine love is not proven through words alone, it is proven through loyalty, respect, and the peace two people share together. Don't forget to stay tuned and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more insightful topic that will help you build a long-lasting relationship.